Good morning, students. Today we will discuss free modules. So first of all, we define a free module. Let us take M is a module over a ring R. Then we say that M is a free R module if M has a basis. It means, by definition of basis, there exists a subset S of M such that M is generated by S, and second condition, this subset S of M is linearly independent set. So if these two conditions holds, then we say that M is free module over the ring R. Now let us see some examples of modules which are free. First example, zero module. That is a free module because we can take an empty set as its basis. Another example, let us take R is a ring with unity, and we consider the left R module. We have denoted by F. F is left R module over R. Let us take the set singleton 1. 1 is the unity element of R. This is a subset of F. Now, we claim that this is the basis of F. For this, first of all, let us show that this is linearly independent over R. To show that this is linearly independent over R, let us take R belonging to ring R such that R into unity is equal to 0. So by definition, from here we get R is equal to 0. This proves that this singleton set consisting of unity element of R is linearly independent over R. And also we can see that F is generated by this set. So we can say that this singleton set, that is a basis of F over the ring R. So this proves that R is free module over itself. By the same example, we can say that the ring of integers, that is a free Z module. Now let us discuss an example of a module which is not a free module. Let us take Q denotes the ring of rationals and Z is the ring of integers. We prove that the ring of rationals is not a free Z module. Now, because the ring of integers, that is a subring of ring of rational numbers, and also the set of rational numbers that forms an abelian group under addition. So we can say that M is a module over the ring of integers. Now we have to show that this is not a free module over Z. To show this, let us take a basis of Q over the ring of integers, because we will prove it by contradiction. So let us assume this ring of integers, that is a free module over Z. So that will have a basis. So we have taken a basis denoted by B for the ring of rationals. Now, if we consider at least two elements in this basis, then we will have to show a contradiction. So let us take this basis has at least two elements. So we can take two elements. We have denoted by B1 and B2. B1 is of the form M1 by N1. Here M1 and N1, these are, M1 is integer, N1 is a natural number, and these are relatively prime. And also let us take B2 is M2 upon M2. M2 is integer, N2 is natural number, and these two are co-prime. Now let us consider two elements R1 and R2 belonging to ring of integers, which we have taken particularly as R1 is M2 into N1 and R2 is M1 into N2. Now, because our B1 and B2 are non-zero, so R1 and R2 both are non-zero. Now let us consider the linear combination R1 B1 minus R2 B2. Putting the values of R1, R2, B1, B2 here, we can see that this linear combination is 0. Thus, the linear combination is 0, but the elements of the ring which we have taken both are non-zero. So by definition, we can say that the set consisting of the elements B1 and B2, that is a linearly dependent set over the ring of integers. So we can say that the basis cannot have 2 or more elements. Now, let us consider the basis B has 1 element, means order of the set B is 1. So that will contain only 1 element. So we can consider B as a singleton set consisting of element say B, and B we have denoted by M by N. M is non-zero integer and N is a natural number, and M and N are co-prime. Now, because we have taken it as the basis for the ring of rationals, so by definition of basis, this set will span Q, means Q is generated by the set B. So, if we take an element 1 upon 1 plus n belonging to ring of rationals, then this element will be of the form of some integer into this element B. B we have taken of the form M by N, and the existing integer we have taken as L. So we can take 1 upon n plus 1 is equal to L into M by N. From here, let us find the value of n, which is given by L into M into n plus 1. So this implies that n plus 1 divides n, but this is not possible because n plus 1 is greater than n. So even if we consider 1 element in the basis, even in that case we get a contradiction. And in the first case we considered 2 or more elements in the basis of ring of rationals. Even in that case we have obtained contradiction. So we can see that the ring of rationals is not a free Z module. Now let us discuss one more example of a module which is a free module. Let us take R is a ring with unity. Then we prove that Rn means the set of all n tuples over the ring R. These n tuples we have denoted by A1, A2, A3 up to An. Here each Ai is an element of the ring R. We will show that this set of all n tuples over the ring R is a free R module. Now, first of all, let us show that this Rn is a R module. Rn is a set of all the n tuples, and if we define the vector addition, that is given by taking two n tuples elements. One we have taken as A1, A2, A3 up to An, and second element of Rn we have taken as B1, B2, B3 up to Bn. These two elements we have taken, and we can define their addition coordinate wise, means A1 plus B1, A2 plus B2, A3 plus B3, and so on up to An plus Bn. In this way we have defined the vector addition in Rn, and this Rn is abelian group under this vector addition. Now we can define scalar multiplication. For this, let us take an element R belonging to the ring R, and this is the element taken from Rn. We can define the scalar multiplication by multiplying each component by R. So we have defined it by RA1, RA2, RA3 up to RAN. this is n tuple over the ring R. In this way, we have defined scalar multiplication also. So under these operations of vector addition and scalar multiplication, Rn is a left R module. Now, we have to prove that Rn is free module over the ring R. For this, we will have to show that it has a basis. For each I varying from 1 to n, let us define Ei as the vector having the 1 means unity element at the ith place and all the other coordinates as 0. Now we claim that these vectors, they forms a basis for Rn. The set consisting of n vectors e1, e2, e3 up to en we have denoted by the set B. To prove that B is basis for Rn, first of all we prove that the set B is linearly independent. To prove this, let us take elements R1, R2, R3 up to Rn from the ring R such that the linear combination R1 E1 plus R2 E2 plus R3 E3 up to Rn En is equal to 0. Now by definition, E1 is having a unity element at the first place and all the other coordinates 0. E2 at the second place 1, all the other coordinates 0. This 1 denotes the unity of ring R. And in En, we have 1 at the nth place, all the other coordinates 0. So substituting the values of E1, E2, E3 up to En here. And by definition of vector addition, we can say that the n tuple formed by R1, R2, R3 up to Rn, that is equal to the n tuple formed by 0 elements. So from here we can say that each Ri is 0. So by definition we can say that B is linearly independent set over the ring R. Now next we prove that the set B spans Rn, means every element of Rn can be written as a linear combination of the elements from B. So let us take an arbitrary element x belonging to Rn. Because x belongs to Rn, so by definition x is of the form of n tuple. The components we have taken as x1, x2, x3 up to xn. Now this x can be written in this form: x1 in the first place, all the other coordinates 0, plus x2 in the second place, all the other coordinates 0, and so on, and xn in the last nth place and all the other coordinates 0. Now this can further be written as x1 into 1 0 0 0 0, 1 in the first place, x2 into the vector 0 1 0 0 and so on, and with xn inside we have the vector having 1 in the nth place and all the other coordinates 0. Now by definition this is E1, this is E2, this is En. So x can be written as x1 E1 plus x2 E2 plus x3 E3 and so on up to xn En. This was arbitrary element taken from Rn. So we have proved that every element of Rn can be written as a linear combination of elements from the set B. So by definition we can say that Rn is generated by the set B, and by definition we can say that the set B is basis for Rn, and therefore Rn is free left R module, and similarly we can prove it free right R module. Next we define rank of finitely generated free module. Rank means the number of elements in any basis of finitely generated free module over the commutative ring with unity, that is called the rank of M. And in particular, if R is a field, in that case the rank of M, that is called dimension of the vector space M, and it is denoted by dimension of M. Now, next to define homomorphic image of a module. Let us take two modules M and M dash over a ring R. Then we see that the module M dash is homomorphic image of module M if there exists an onto homomorphism F from M into M dash. This M dash is homomorphic image of M in that case. Now, next there is result in which we prove that homomorphic image of a module M is precisely a factor module of M. To prove this, let us take M is a module and M dash is homomorphic image of M. So by definition of homomorphic image, there will exist an onto homomorphism F from M into M dash. Let us take N is the kernel of this homomorphism. So by definition, kernel is submodule of M. So N is a submodule of M. Now, because this mapping is onto homomorphism, so we can apply fundamental theorem of homomorphism of modules. So the factor module M by N is isomorphic to M dash. So we can say that this M dash is a factor module of M. And also conversely, if we consider M dash as a factor module of M, then by definition, factor module of M is of the form M by N, where this N is some module of M. So we can define a natural homomorphism from M into M by N by taking an element X from here. Let us take an element X from M. Then the elements of M by N are of the form of cosets because X belongs to M. So the coset X plus N is an element of M by N. This natural homomorphism is onto. Means we can say that this mapping is an epimorphism of left R modules. So we can say that M dash is homomorphic image of M. Thus we have proved that the homomorphic image of a module M is precisely a factor module of M. We will use this result in our theorems later.